Everybody get up, it's time to slam now. We got the real jam going down. Welcome to the Space Jam.
The Old Republic must defeat the Empire with a device capable of completing several tasks. It is our mission to build a device that can accomplish these tasks successfully. These tasks include removing 2 TIE fighters from the base sector, torpedoing the Death Star, egressing from the blast zone, raising the Millennium Golf Ball at least 3 inches above the starting zone, and recalling the fleet. A few challenges to accomplishing these tasks are the 40-second time limit, the size of the device, and the limited sources of power. Other challenges are the fact that the Death Star will be rotating, which means that timing must be taken into consideration when the torpedoes are released, and also the fact that the TIE fighters must be removed from the base sector while the fleet is being gathered towards the base sector. To develop a reliable system capable of beating the Empire, 5 possible designs were created, one of which being our final design. We took these designs and evaluated them using an evaluation matrix to determine which design should be the most successful. Going forward in this video, we will show you our evaluation matrix, the design alternatives, and our final design.
Our evaluation matrix analyzed criteria such as placing 4 torpedoes in the 4 Death Star quadrants, recalling the fleet, and fitting in the go-no-go box. As you can see, the evaluation scores range from 0.191 to 0.218, with the Space Jam device ranking the highest and the task device ranking the lowest. Since the design team's main objective is to secure the most amount of points during the competition, the matrix scores were determined based on the probability of scoring points for each subsystem task and each regulation specified. Beginning with the lowest scoring device, let's look at the possible designs.
The TAS device removes the rubber TIE fighters from the area by utilizing rolling hinged arms and then recalls the fleet through the deployment of sidearms, which rotate toward the main body. It employs a cascade pulley mechanism to lift the Millennium Golf Ball. The torpedo subsystem uses a cascading arm with a carousel on the end, which relies on a motor to rotate the device and release the torpedoes using a long arm switch. Daffy Duck uses the same TIE fighter mechanism as TAS. However, it uses swing arms called fleet sweepers to knock the fleet inward. The golf ball is raised by a scissor lift. The torpedoes are then dispensed by a cascading arm, which is attached to a ramp with gates that are triggered by, again, a long arm switch.
The Michael Jordan device features a sweeping arm to remove the TIE fighters, unlike the previous 2 designs. The fleet catchers trap the targets and then retract to bring them into the designated area. The golf ball is raised by way of a telescoping pole. The torpedoes are dispensed by a linear bearing arm with a tube track. Here we have Bugs, which removes the TIE fighters and recalls the fleet in the same manner as Daffy Duck. The device has a lifting arm which raises the Millennium Golf Ball. The torpedoes are deposited through an extending scissor arm with a ramp at the end. A mousetrap will serve as a gate that will dispel the torpedoes into the Death Star as it rotates.
The final design is called Space Jam. In this design, the TIE Fighter subsystem consists of 2 rolling hinged arms with wheels that attach to the extending end of the arm. The wheels at the base allows the end of the arm to glide along the floor of the battle zone and push the TIE fighters out of the base sector. To gather the fleet on the long end, round fleet catchers extend out and cover the fleet. On the short side, there's a crossbow-type system which deploys off of the hinged arms to sweep the fleet in. The Millennium Golf Ball will be placed on top of a cascading arm, which is initially folded on a platform. The cascading arm is flicked up and a pulley system and motor extend the arm. The torpedo subsystem has a pinwheel is mounted on the front of a linear bearing arm which is on a pivot. At the back end of the arm is a pneumatic cylinder attached to the base of the subsystem, which rotates the arm about the pivot to extend and retract the system.
The device received an evaluation score of 0.218. The biggest differentiator between the previous 4 designs and Space Jam is the consistent high rankings on the evaluation matrix. The Space Jam device encompasses the strongest subsystems from all the previously described designs to create the most effective mechanism. Space Jam employs the team's highest scoring mechanism from the individual competition, which scored negative 26 points out of negative 78 points to remove the TIE fighters. The subsystem design from the Millennium Golf Ball competition scored the highest in the class with an average height of 48 inches from the ground, which is also used in Space Jam.
The evaluation matrix determined that Space Jam is the best option out of our 5 concept designs. After rigorous and necessary system testing, Space Jam will undergo reassessment and final design analysis. We are confident in Space Jam's ability to perform well in the competition and defeat the evil empire.
Y'all ready for this?